Hello one and all, a very warm welcome to another instalment from the channel that is Jono's Graveyard Jaunts. Now before we get into today's video, I would like to give a shout out to an excellent channel that has just recently started on YouTube by a couple of lovely Scottish ladies. Their channel is entitled Graveyard Sisters and they make videos on everything cemeteries and churches in the beautiful historic country that is Scotland. So please hop over to their channel and give them a like and subscribe so the channel can grow. We'll add the link to their channel in the description to this video. So if you're a fan of motorcycles, especially British motorcycles, you might enjoy today's episode. Now the topic of the video today is about a British brand that was started well over 100 years ago and is still going strong today. Now I personally gained a full motorcycle licence when I was 18 and rode powerful large capacity motorcycles, which was my preferred mode of transport for many years until circumstances dictate I transitioned to a car. But I've always drawled over this particular brand of British motorcycle. Now most of us have heard of the actor Keanu Reeves. Not only does he own a very bespoke motorcycle company called Arch Motorcycles, where he produces some amazing two-wheeled modes of transport, but he also has one of this company's motorcycles that features in today's video, a 1973 MK3 Norton Commando 850 in his personal extensive motorcycle collection. So in today's video I'm going to be talking about the iconic British brand that is Norton Motorcycles. I will talk about when, where and who founded the company, and I'll also be visiting the final resting place of the person who started the company here in Birmingham. The person who founded Norton Motorcycles was a man by the name of James Landsdowne Norton. So whilst I narrate this video, I shall be walking around Lodge Hill Cemetery and Crematorium in the West Midlands, where this person is laid to rest. Now the first map shows where the West Midlands sits in relation to the UK, and the second map shows where the actual location of Lodge Hill Cemetery sits in relation to the city of Birmingham, which in turn itself lies in the West Midlands. Now Birmingham is the UK's second largest city and was at one point in time known as the workshop of the world or the city of 1,000 trades. Another famous person's ashes are interred here also, that of the iconic Austin Mini car designer, Sir Alexander Arnold Constantine Isagonis. Now James Lansdowne Norton founded the company of Norton at the age of 29, and the premises were initially located at 320 Bradford Street in Birmingham. James founded the company using his engineering skills that he had developed at an early age from his father, who was a British cabinet maker. Now Norton was a toolmaker with deeply religious beliefs and very high standards, and he initially specialised in fittings and parts for the two-wheel trade. When Norton was 19, he suffered from severe rheumatic fever. He recovered from the fever, but his health continued to deteriorate, aging him prematurely. Now, James developed the nickname Pa, as in grandpa, and this stuck with him in his later years before he died at the tender age of just 56 years old. Despite his early death, James was still able to celebrate some of Norton's early successes. It took the company until 1902 to start producing motorcycles. Although they were using bought-in engines from elsewhere, it was a further 3 years before they produced their own engines. Norton initially began building motorcycles with French and Swiss engines, and in April 1907, the Norton Manufacturing Company moved to a larger factory at Durra Bridge, Floodgate Street, Birmingham. Now, the first Norton engines were made in 1907 with models available from 1908. These were the 3.5 horsepower 490cc and the Big 4 633cc, beginning a line of side valve single engines which continued with few changes until the late 1950s. Now, the first Norton logo was a fairly simple Art Nouveau design with the name spelled in capitals. However, a new logo appeared on the front of the catalogue for 1914, which was a joint effort by James Norton and his daughter Ethel. It became known as the curly N logo, with only the initial letter as a capital, and was used by the company thereafter, first appearing on actual motorcycles in 1915. Now, regarding Norton's racing victories, the first ever Isle of Man TT twin cylinder class race was in 1907 and was run riding a Norton by Rem Fowler. This marked the start of a very strong racing tradition, and Norton quickly built their reputation as a builder of serious road and race bikes through their wins at Brooklands and other European races. Norton was Isle of Man Senior TT Norton won the Isle of Man Senior TT races 10 times between the wars and won 78 out of 92 Grand Prix races between 1930 and 1937. And every year from 1947 to 54, Norton continued their streak of TT victories. Now, during the Second World War, Norton withdrew from racing and contributed to the war effort by manufacturing around 100,000 side valve motorcycles, which accounted for almost a quarter of all military motorcycles. In 1949, they introduced the twin-cylinder Norton Dominator and a featherbed frame in 1950. Now, the featherbed frame was very strong but also lightweight, which gave Norton an advantage in the twists and turns of the Isle of Man track, leading to even more race successes. Now, Jeff Duke rode Norton into victory in 1952 and was crowned world champion in both the 350cc and 500cc classes, leading to his OBE, i.e. Order of the British Empire. The world-famous Norton Commando model was introduced at the 1968 Earls Court Motor Show, and over 500,000 were produced in the following decades. Its styling, innovative isoelastic frame and powerful engine made it an appealing package. Now, the Commando easily outperformed contemporary Triumph and BSA twins and was the most powerful and best-handling British motorcycle of its day. I understand that police forces throughout the UK did use the Norton Commando at one point in time. However, with increased competition coming in from Japan in the 70s, the last Commando of its time was produced in 1976. Now, over the years, Norton went through a series of owners before the brand relaunched in 1989 when they brought back their TT successes. In 1992, Norton gained the first victory for a British bike in almost 30 years and beat Yamaha to a win. Norton was then relaunched in 2008 when Stuart Garner, a UK businessman, bought the rights to Norton from US concerns, moving it back to its West Midlands home at Donington, near the village of Castle Donington. Norton Motorcycles fell into administration in January of 2020 due to large debts, sadly leading to financial failure, coupled with some tabloid controversy for Stuart Garner himself. But in April 2020, Indian manufacturer TVS Motor Company entered an all-round cash deal of 16 million to acquire certain assets of Norton Motorcycles with the aim to bring Norton back to its iconic glory. Sudarshan Venu, TVS's Motors joint MD, had declared his intention to maintain Norton's distinctive identity whilst expanding into new markets. As the sixth largest manufacturer of motorcycles in the world, TVS Motor Company provided the strong foundations for the brand to grow and the resources to return to the Norton brand to the world stage. It didn't take long for the positive control of TVS to take effect and for the brand to be seen in a positive light once again. And in early 2021, TVS Motor Company made a historic move, ejecting the brand from Castle Donington and moving it to its new base at Solar Park in Solihull in the West Midlands. Norton created 50 jobs in the opening of the factory, and the vision for the state-of-the-art facility was for it to bring long-term home to set foundations for the new world-class standards they are currently delivering to this day. So this is the final resting place of James Landsdowne Norton, who founded the iconic British brand Norton Motorcycles. He sadly passed away at just 56 years old. So let's read what it says. In loving memory of James Landsdowne Norton, who died 21st of April 1925, aged 56. Also his wife Sarah Norton, who died the 11th of May 1956, aged 84. And here we have a placard that someone's added subsequently, founder of Norton Motorcycles, with that iconic logo with the squirrely N squiggle there, which is brilliant. So this is in Lodge Hill Cemetery in Selly Oak in Birmingham. So if you do want to visit, it's the best way to remember it is if you're coming this way here.